All right, guys, algebraic equations. So we got four different examples here. So this is not, the hardest of algebra, but in a lot of cases, certain parts of this can trip us up, I should have said. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so the question is, if 13 is added to 1/2 of a certain number, the result is 37. What is the original number? Okay, so people do have struggles with word problems, so let's just break it down. So it says 13 is added, so immediately we go like plus 13, right? 13 is added to 1/2 of a certain number, so that's just 1/2 x, to 1/2 of a certain number, the result is 37. That's kind of the process that you go through. And after that, we just have some simple algebra, right? We subtract 13 from both sides, so you can get that x by itself, like you always want to do with algebra. 37 minus 13 is 24. Okay, and then we want to get rid of that 1/2, so we multiply by the inverse of 2, or 2 over 1. There. And then we're left with x is 24 times 2, which is 48. Okay, so pretty straightforward, basic algebra stuff once you set up the equation, right? So usually it's the setting up the equation part that people can get thrown off by a little bit. All right, next one. Just simplifying this, right? So just remembering your distributive property, right? So we're going to go like 2 times 4x, little baby arrow, 2 times 7 minus this and that. Okay, so let's see what happens here. We got 2 times 4x, so we start off with 8x, and then 2 times 7, so we got a plus here, and 2 times 7 is 14. Okay, we'll go ahead and put some parentheses around those guys, minus, we'll have some more parentheses, 3 times 2x is 6x. And remember there's a minus here, right? So we'll carry that down. And 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, and now you just have to combine terms, right? We got 8x minus 6x, that's 2x. And then we have 14, and then we have a minus negative 12, right? Remembering two negatives makes a positive, so we're going to actually add those numbers, right? And so 14 plus 12 is 26. So probably the key part there is, outside of just knowing how to distribute this stuff, is the double negative being a positive, and that you didn't go 14 minus 12 is 2, and then said the answer was 2x plus 2, which probably would be one of the answer choices. Okay, so there's just simplifying terms. Okay, what is the sum of the coefficients? Okay, so the coefficient is just the number that's in front of the variable, right? So the coefficients, so we have 3, that's not the pen I wanted. We have 5. Okay, then you have negative c, right, which is just the same as negative 1c. And then you have negative d squared, same thing, that's just negative 1 also, right? So we have 3, and we have 5, and we have negative 1 for our c, negative 1c, and then again negative 1 for our d squared. Okay, we combine all those up, and we get 6. 3 plus 5 is 8, minus 1, minus 1, 6. Okay, that's coefficients. Sum of coefficients, pretty common that shows up. That's all you're doing, just adding the number in front of the variable. And then finally, we have, okay, 1/3 k plus 1/4 k equals 1. What is the value of k? Okay, so if this throws you at all, just think of it as 1/3 plus 1/4, right? So that's all we're doing. Geez. Got 1/3 plus 1/4, right? And then we need that common denominator, right? To be able to add these, right? And so we're going to have 12 as that common denominator for both, right? So with 1/3, if we multiply by 4 over 4, that becomes 4/12. With 1/4, multiply by 3 over 3, that becomes 3/12. Yeah. And then we can combine these. 4 plus 3 is 7 into 7/12. Okay. So now coming back to your equation, now 1/3 k plus 1/4 k, we just combine those fractions, and now we have 7/12 k is 1. Yeah. And all we're doing now is we want to get rid of that 7/12, right? So we multiply by the inverse or the reciprocal, or whatever you want to call it, right? Multiply by 12/7. You got to do it on both sides. And 12/7 times 1 is just 12/7. So we're left with k equals 12 over 7. So sometimes people can be confused by a question like this, right? But the main thing is just knowing when you're adding fractions right here, the 1/3 k plus the 1/4 k, just add the fraction, get that answer, then throw the k on there, and then solve, which usually is going to mean multiply by the reciprocal. All right, guys, that's all we got for you. Hopefully this helps you out and you're ready for algebraic equations.